Hello, everyone. Interesting news recently. It seems as if the progressive left is starting to catch some of the shit they have been flinging at others who disagree with them. Or, more eloquently said, people in glass houses should not throw stones. Yesterday, and a couple days beforehand, because I am late recording this, a very interesting story developed surrounding the Women's March. So if you have not heard, the Women's March within the last couple of months have been plagued with accusations of anti-Semitism. The majority of problems surround a couple of the lead organizers, Tamika Mallory and Carmen Perez. The New York Times reports Vanessa Rubel, a Brooklyn-based activist, said, she told the group that her Jewish heritage inspired her to try and help repair the world. But she said the conversation took a turn when Tamika Mallory, a black gun control activist, and Carmen Perez, a Latina criminal justice reform activist, replied that Jews needed to confront their own role in racism. The article goes on to reference the original reporter of this story, Tablet News. However, despite the tabloid-esque nature, as some would consider the news outlet to be, it turns out to be correct on this one story. This one bore fruit. The tablet article reads as follows, as it describes the actual words and sentiments uttered to cause such a firestorm. Quote, "It was there that, as the women were opening up about their backgrounds and personal investments in creating a resistance movement to Trump, Perez and Mallory allegedly first asserted that Jewish people bore a special collective responsibility as exploiters of black and brown people, and even, according to a close secondhand source, claimed that Jews were proven to have been leaders of the American slave trade. These are canards popularized by The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, a book published by Louis Farrakhan's Nation of Islam, the Bible of the new anti-Semitism." According to Henry Louis Gates Jr., who noted in 1992, among significant sectors of the black community, this brief has become a credo of a new philosophy of black self-affirmation. Now, some may know Farrakhan for his inflammatory comments calling Jews termites and other such blatantly anti-Semitic rhetoric. But this should not have been such a surprise, considering totally not a Sharia supporter Linda Sarsour is also a co-chair of the Women's March and oftentimes a featured speaker. But that is not today's story, not Linda Sarsour at least. As the Women's March grew in fame, as did the potential for criticism surrounding its origins. All of this eventually would come to a head as the Tablet News story broke and the Women's March leaders denied the utterance of such words and sentiments. If you would like the specific details of the events that transpired that led up to the whole story blowing up and its immediate attempt at cover-up, the links as always are in the description below. But now today we have a unique development, and honestly one I did not expect to happen. As of Tuesday, quote, "The Democratic Party drops its sponsorship of Women's March amid Farrakhan blow-up." The Daily Beast reports on the incident, whereas on Monday, the Democratic National Committee was on 2019's Women's March sponsor list, but Tuesday they were gone. Well, what happened? Well, as it turns out, Tamika Mallory did an oops. The Daily Beast reports as follows. Mallory, who has attended events and photos with Farrakhan in recent years, was asked by co-host Sunny Hostin on The View about an Instagram post in which Mallory described the notorious anti-Semitic leader of the Nation of Islam as the GOAT, or greatest of all time. And instead of telling you what she said, here is what she said on that episode of The View.
Back a little bit, why call him the greatest of all time?
I didn't call him the greatest of all time because of his rhetoric. I called him the greatest of all time because of what he's done in black communities. And I think that,
let me just interject really quickly. I would never be comfortable supporting someone who called, "I'm not anti-Semite and I'm anti-termite. It's the wicked Jews, the false Jews that are promoting lesbianism, homosexuality."
Those allegations are not true. That is not how that meeting happened. And the Women's March...
So the journalist I spoke to was lying?
The people that the journalist spoke to did not tell the truth.
Period.
Period. Full stop.
That's it.
And I think it's important for us to understand and all be very clear in this room that the Women's March unequivocally condemns anti-Semitism, bigotry.
To condemn Farrakhan's remarks about Jewish people.
Yes, and we have repeatedly in statement after statement this year, which are available directly on our website for anyone to read.
We did not make those
We
remarks.
did not make
You can't
But you're
place me-
associating with a man
And
who
so
does
publicly. What I will say to you is that I don't agree with many of Minister Farrakhan's statements.
Specifically about Jewish people.
As I said, I don't agree with many of Minister Farrakhan's statements.
Do you condemn them?
I don't agree with these statements. At the end of the day...
You won't condemn it.
No. To be very clear, it's not my language. It's not the way that I speak. It is not how I organize. And I think it is very clear over the 20 years of my own personal activism, my own personal track record, who I am, and that I should never be judged through the lens of a man. That is actually not what this women's movement is supposed to be about.
Oof. She refuses to condemn Farrakhan, and therefore, the DNC has opted to move away from the Women's March. Now look, I cannot tell anyone what they should believe, but I must stress, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that this behavior is deceitful and wrong. Anti-Semitism is the strangest thing, in my opinion, that seems to be commonplace, and I truly, truly do not understand. Just stop. The projection of the world's problems, quote, problems, onto a single religion, especially one that has been hounded and oppressed essentially everywhere they have existed in notable history, it's stupid. It's a conspiracy theory, fueled by those with something to gain by having a mass of people to rally behind them, as if they have awoken a long-lost secret about the evils of Judaism. Just, come on. Really? Look, nothing is certain. Approach everything with skepticism and an open mind. Don't just believe something because someone showed you a collection of images and said Jews at the end. Be smart. But that's all I have for you guys today. I had wanted to hit on some other topics, but this one ended up being longer than I expected. But if you liked it, leave a like and comment down below. I hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you all soon.